chance to check out 2 great things being built in the community, and your weekly chance to help them grow. They will be up here presenting for 6 minutes each, then there's 20 minutes of Q&A from you guys. That's the really important part where you offer suggestions, get clarification, make connections, and do all the things that we need to do to help this be a vibrant startup community. I would like to make my thank yous first to my fellow organizers, Richard Wood, frequent guest from Kansas City, Chris Bent in the back, Marianne on time as always, J.J. Roberts, the silent one. My name is Sean Kent, and the cog, Carly, who is writing those wonderful emails you guys get every week. If you're not getting those emails, there's a sign-up sheet by JJ. Just fill out your information. We do not spam you. You get 2 emails a week, one telling you who is coming, the other one telling you who presented here in the past. Most importantly, I think I would like to thank Cal Coffee. The NBA has decided to schedule 10:30 tip-off times for its games, so without this stuff, I would literally be asleep on the floor in front of you today. So thank you, Cal Coffee. Please patronize them when you're not getting it for free here. So we have a little something special today, as I told you guys last week. We have the top 2 teams from the new venture creation class at USF St. Petersburg. It's taught by Professor Nathan Schweigler. Nathan, welcome. So you're going to see 2 really cool presentations. I think both of them have a ton of potential, and it is on us to encourage them to continue pursuing these products, these companies, and build them here in St. Petersburg. So without further ado, we'll start with Hanging Good. Hanging Good, guys?
Hey guys, I'm Victor Holtz.
I'm Chase Reed. We created the Hanging Dough.
The everyday problem of unwrinkling clothes is a common task that many of us have experienced. With Hanging Dough, we created a solution. We quickly unwrinkle multiple items, leaving them with a fresh scent in a timely manner. We started with our base model, and we developed it by sewing and stitching a canvas that is insulated steam vents. Now we direct the steam to come out through the sides instead of the top, and we use multiple hoses. The market, we're aiming for people that don't have time or the money to spend on dry cleaning or ironing. We're looking for homes that don't have washers and dryers, maybe apartment buildings or condos that don't have laundry rooms. We get the job done. Most products on the market are, like I said, costly, ineffective, and we are doing it in under 10 minutes. We are auto-programmed so you can not worry, you can go to sleep at night and wake up and your clothes will be ready and fresh. Also, the value of your clothes will increase drastically because you don't have to wash them after every wash. Instead, give them a refresh. Our current products right now are the steamer, which can spit on you, can hurt you, especially if you ever try to steam clean a children's outfit. It can be very hard. The iron, which I'm sure none of you use. The wrinkle release, which of course leaves all your clothes wet. And the dryer, which does 1 item at a time or 4, but you have to be there to take it out. There's also the extreme cases. I'm sure all of you have tried the shower method and the costly method where dry cleaning will come to your house and you can drop it off. We want to have that. That's what we're doing here at Hanging Dough. We're tackling the everyday problem of wrinkles. And we're doing it on a quick method that is reliable and...
So to answer the all-time question of why now? Why do we believe our product will be successful? In developing this product, we found an opportunity in the market. Would you like to go to the next slide, please? The dry cleaning industry is currently a $9 billion industry, generating that amount of revenue per year. It's at a decline, so we saw that over the past 5 years, while at the same time, the iron and steamer industry has been on an increase in annual growth of 2 to 5% for the past 3 years right now. So of the dry cleaning industry, the southern United States, southeast of the United States accounts for a quarter of that $9 billion in revenue. Of that, Florida alone accounts for 5.7%, which is the largest of any state in the United States. So we believe that's where we can fit in with the market there, and that's something we want to capitalize on. How we're going to make money, our revenue model, we have our base model. We're pricing that at $100 as our estimate for now. Of course, we don't know until we speak with the manufacturer, but we don't right now. Our Frankenstein, I guess you could say, a model we put together so far, we're at about $60 in the cost. So we'd like to do the base model for around $100. It'll come with the steamer, the canvas, and the frame. After that, we plan on generating revenue using the wrinkle solution, which we poured into the steamer. Gives it a nice fresh scent, also allows the wrinkles to be taken out. Price that at $9 a bottle. We noticed that some of the fabrics, the wrinkles did not come out so easily, so we came up with these magnets you make on the bottom that just simply clip into your shirt, keeping it nice and tight. So we'll sell those separately as well. And then we have a wide body painter as well that we plan on producing, which will allow more steam to be taken out of your shirt. Our paths to market, we obviously would like to be with QVC, HSN, SCN on TV. Kiosks would be great. We have our products very monster, so we can have no problem demonstrating how it works at any time. So imagine going into the mall buying a shirt, and they typically kind of fold it up, and us being there to the shirt for you. So what's the next step? Obviously, we're looking for mentorship. If not, go for new with us. We'd like to speak to the manufacturer, someone in distribution. To create a finished product, we do have the idea of what we'd like the finished product to look like and features that it will have that we weren't able to create yet. So we are open to any suggestions, and any comments, and any help that we can offer.
Does it fold up? Because that takes up a lot of space in the room.
That's a great question. We have two different products that we want. One is going to be for the smaller housing area, so it would collapse down and push underneath the bed.
Okay.
The other, we want to do a nicer version of it, so it'll have like a nice dark brown leather surface on the outside, mirrors down the side so you can see what you look like when you're out there. On the back, it'll have laundry baskets, so you can simply take your laundry out, hang it up, and turn it on and walk away. So that's a great question. I think there's two different areas there that we can approach it from. Obviously, people don't mind having a hamper in their room. I would say everyone don't have one of those. So we thought we could create something that looks nice in your room, and you don't mind having it there, and also walk your
Have you considered a travel model? I mean, that top section looks like it could be a collapsible suitcase. When you get there,
We've been asked that quite a bit. Actually, I'd like to create one that will go in your car and plug into the AC adapter for those who go to the gym in their suits and then leave. The problem with that is the size between your seat and the ceiling of your car.
I was thinking about airplanes.
Airplanes? Oh yeah, I mean you could get it very close down. This is all these poles break apart, so you can take everything apart if you'd like.
I see.
And we could easily have it work.
It could also be boxed up and sold.
How much is it? I would like to speak to a manufacturer first to get the cost on it. Like I said, we're at about $60 cost right now. We would like to get it on for it.
With that, but what about the other machine?
The machine itself, it comes. Yeah, that was including the steamer. Like I said, we'd like to have the steamer made specifically for this one. Right now we have two handheld steamers that we manipulated in our product.
Does it have sort of a drying cycle? Because if stuff gets a little bit damp and it's real humid, it's just going to stay a little bit.
That could be a concern. We haven't experienced any difficulties with it thus far, and we use this machine quite a bit. I can see how that would be a problem. It's on a timer though, so it does cut off automatically. We have not looked into a drying system like this. We did say it does have a perforated top, so it does allow the steam to be taken out, so it's not just moisture sitting in the back.
So I like this idea, and I was thinking in terms of path to the marketplace. You said you're open for suggestions. I would encourage hotels and people who think of my father, who's a professional, he was on the road, he was away from home or anything. This is a great way to reach people like that. It's like we were saying, hotels like part of the the nicer room features is you get one of these amenities, and it's not just.
That's good.
That'd be a great market.
Have you guys seen the Swash Express Clothing Care in Bed Bath & Beyond? Because it's kind of the same thing, but it only does one piece of clothing at a time, so you should probably check that out.
Well, that actually is not, that is the current product. Our product has it is not, we can do multiple outfits. Whereas if you're hanging up one piece of clothing, then you're gonna have to wait for it to be finished. And
Yeah.
and put your next piece of wood. It's gonna be more time consuming than iron.
Going back to the size issue and the idea for the hotels, a half-size model would be really good. So you could maybe pour pieces in there and have it ready for the next day.
I like that. I think that if we did a smaller version of it, I believe it would do just as well. Something this large. You have to realize this was something we had to put together.
That's a nice
So it's,
Part of the size.
we got lucky with the size that we got, so.
And maybe to that effect, maybe a vending machine kind of model. So it don't sit in the room, but just sit in the lobby.
Yeah.
And you may on your demo version, take the wrinkles off the.
Yeah.
That would be nice, maybe conferences and areas where it's.
Look good. Move it in there.
Question, just because like how, how steam, I'm one of those who use the steamer and like, oh man, it's hot. I'm just curious, how child safe is this? I see like little areas where we gotta get in during kids, they're so inquisitive, they're always like, reaching their hands over and things. Just wondering, is it child safe?
Well, steam rises, so the bottom won't be a problem. The bottom will also be covered up on the final product, like I said, this is a Frankenstein version. So, them reaching underneath wouldn't be an issue, and the only thing that would get a little warm would be the top one up here. We have noticed that it's hot, but it's not to the point where it's a serious burn. It's warm to the top.
My family is in the dry cleaning business, and I think something like this would be something to think about is possibly partnering with dry cleaners, because we do pick up and delivery people's homes that come hang over their doorknobs, that sort of thing. We could actually put the clothes in there. This is something that requires dry cleaners to spot in different places to be ready for this. The dry cleaners would sell this if they're local and have it as a place that their clothes are also delivered within. Do you know?
Like a pizza box, delivering a hot pizza.
Well, no, no, you have it in your house, and then on your porch, this is where clothes get delivered.
Dropped off to.
Yeah, because right now your clothes are being delivered on a hook outside the front door.
This would keep them fresh while they stay.
Well, it keeps them safe, and it also, if we have a hurricane or something, or rain or something, it will keep them dry. The plastic bags are not do, but they have a hole in the top of the papers. So this would actually be a second protection. So it would be something worthwhile thinking about.
Just from a design standpoint, we thought of using the telescoping poles like they use in tents.
That's what we want. We'd like to use those, so that way it doesn't collapse down and it does make it where you can travel with it easier. We also have a design where these will be crisscross, and that way you can just push it down.
They're, just as a note afterwards, if you want, there's a company here in St. Petersburg, you say you're looking for somebody to design and manufacture.
Yes.
They probably could be a tremendous amount of assistance to you.
You'll stick around, I'll speak with you after the presentation. Yes.
So how many pieces of clothing can you fit in that particular model?
Right now, we're looking at 6. So that way, I know my fiance is going to decide to have the time she gets ready, so she might change outfits 3 times, so you don't know what you want to wear, you hang it up in here, go get in the shower, come out, and then you maybe try them on.
So how much spacing should we be between each piece?
I haven't graduated with a STEAM degree yet, but I'm guessing around 4 inches is what we respected, and that's what it's for each player.
So here's a question about the ventilation on the system, right? Because if you're going to put this in a small apartment, most of those have very poor circulation of air, even the AC unit on. And there's a lot of problems even inside. You shower, you cook things with a lot of steam, you got to turn vents on, open windows. Have you guys experienced problems with mold, or have you found a way to maybe vent it out through an open window? How do you deal with that if it's in a small space?
It's the real estate guy. So how do we do it in a small space? That's a good question. We really haven't come across that yet, so that's something we would have to look at. Thank you.
I agree with his concern. Particularly in Florida, mold is a real problem. Anytime you have a building with moisture, you may want to get a simple solution. It might even be just a light bulb that turns on after the process to warm and dry the clothes and eliminate the moisture, and it has an effect of killing mold.
That's a very good idea.
So if for some reason it
does get moldy or kind of gross when you wash the model?
Thank you for asking that. Yes, you can actually take this bag off, throw it in the wash. That's our final finished product will be, and it'll take anything off the bag. Yes.
With the steam, you also have to watch the fire detectors go off.
Okay.
So check that.
I'm just going to echo the first comment about the hotels. I travel a lot too, and it's always like, what suitcase can I pack today that'll like keep the shirt fine? And then I always do a shower shirt and glad. But what you go to the market at the hotel is when you take out the iron, take out the ironing board, do all that. You know, I'll admit I don't put it all back, you know, before I go. So just the time of the house cleaning expense, the time to put all that stuff back away, empty the iron, replace them when they break and all that. Whereas if there was buy the ice machine, machine where I can stick $1 in and put up to, even just a shirt and pair of pants or a suit or 2 at a time, and pay $1 or $2, I would do that all the time versus taking it out. So I was just exploring that. I think it's a great idea.
How long does the steam cycle last, and how much moisture is going to be left in the clothes when it's done to where I can put it on?
Well, the clothes, they're not wet. They're warm, but they're not wet.
Okay.
How long it works, or how long it takes to heat up, I guess I should say. What we have right now, like I said, this isn't a steamer developed for a product. It's something we create. We put 2 steamers together. So it's taking it about 5 minutes to heat up and 5 minutes to steam. And that's with us hoping or making sure that it works for sure, because we're presenting in front of people all the time. So we want to make sure it works. So we're giving the extra time. The finished product, we'd like it to be around 6 to 7 minutes.
Okay.
From startup to finish.
Okay.
And it'll be on automatic timer, so that's all.
Are you going to recommend people use distilled water, or how are they going to get calcium buildup and clean out your steamer?
I don't know that I got the question. We'll look it up.
But you do have the scented product,
Yes.
So maybe there's something, maybe I don't know anything about science, but. Yeah, work on that.
I'm sure you could also pour a solution in there that would clean out the steamer as it goes.
My question was about the scent actually as well. How does that work? Is it like a Febreze type thing? Is it just like a perfume? I mean,
It's like similar to the breeze.
Is it proprietary? Did you develop it or purchase it or something?
First, we've come up with our own, obviously. We wanted that to be one of our wasting of money after the initial zone.
Why did you demo it today during your presentation?
Out of respect to the other presenters today, for us not to just really the noise effect, and we're probably going to go on that.
It does work. I will just say, I saw it demonstrated last week. It does work. I always want to ask about it.
Yeah.
While you're doing more research, this question about mold. In the air conditioning industry, they put a black light into your air conditioning system, which I think is there to kill mold and other stuff, and that's circulating. It seems like there's some similarity to what you're doing. Maybe there could be a little, somebody mentioned a black light in the top of this.
Yeah.
So maybe there's some research there that you could do with build on that.
Yeah, that definitely should.
Regarding the moisture issue, you could have a desiccant pad made that goes on your mask, and that would soak up your moisture coming out all probability. And those things dry out.
And what was it called again?
Desiccant.
Okay.
They're made out of silica gel.
Okay.
What comes on the computer boxes that absorb the moisture look like a pad.
Yeah.
Is there a variation in time and depending on what type of material you're trying to, is it, wrinkle?
We try to combat that with the magnets.
Polyester, whatever.
So harder materials, we introduced the magnets on certain shirts that weren't, the sleeves particularly, weren't getting as unwrinkled. So we were catching magnets, which would still keep it in our 6 minute instead of the time frame.
Yes.
Have you done any patent searches, or are there any patents on this type of product, or is it something that would be in your interest to patent yourselves?
I feel like with the type of product that we have, it's not a crazy technology or anything like that. I'm not sure how beneficial it would be to get a patent. Someone could just simply change the material that it's made out of and replicate it. So we haven't really looked at the patents that much for this type of product. Would you think that that would be something we should definitely get.
Well, certainly I think you should do a check to make sure you're not violating, infringing on an existing patent. And I'm not a patent attorney, so I really can't.
We search for similar products, which doesn't mean there hasn't been a patent on them already, but we couldn't find anything. You know, we looked through IBIS World, and it was difficult enough just to find the statistics with iron steam registry.
Do you think you're marketing more to men or to women? I'm hearing lots of talk about men's shirts, and that might be a size the best use. I was wondering.
That's a great question. We're actually marketing to men, women, and children. Some of them not. Even children's clothes are smaller, so they're harder to iron or steam. So you can hang those up in your obviously you can address them regularly because it hangs really so. And size as well.
At the beginning of your presentation, you spent a lot of time telling us who this wasn't targeted for. Right? That's kind of the way you kicked off. You said, I'm looking for apartments that don't have washers and dryers, right, et cetera, et cetera. And I think your market is actually much broader than that. I don't think that's a good way to begin your presentation. You know, in our house, 5 people, lots of laundry being done. I can't tell you how many bottles of that wrinkle reducer my wife goes through, right? So I think she's a target for you. You know, we certainly have a washer and dryer, and we have space. So I just think that you began by limiting your market unnecessarily.
I agree.
Thank you.
And I copy what Rick said. I think also, women are ironing at least 3 to 4 hours a week, at least, for what we do. Our shirts and pants and things like that. So that's it's a labor saver for them as well.
Men should be ironing.
We move on a product to be gender specific, and that's why we didn't touch on the gender.
Women in household, just what I say is household, that's a household labor that goes with it, regardless of the house.
What's your guys' background? Are you in marketing business?
I'm getting a double major in entrepreneurship and finance. I have a background in a little bit of real estate. And
I worked in operations management for the Salvation Army doing their retail hub, and I've seen a lot of clothes actually come in. They would actually go through about 6,000 articles of clothing a day per store. And I am also an entrepreneur major, vice president of entrepreneur.
What's your team look like? Are you going to bring in engineers and designers?
like I said, we'd like to meet up with the manufacturer and someone in distribution. And as far as our team right now, it's 2 of us. Under the guidance of Professor Schweiler.
Let's go back to the operational piece of it. So practically, have you tested out how many times you can wear the same shirt and refresh it, wear it again before you actually have to wash it?
Pretty subjective.
You know, have you ever tested it out?
They made it 12 days running straight.
Well, okay. Everybody in this room will want to do that.
What day is he on now?
Could this be used to kind of sterilize clothes as well? You know, get rid of bugs, lice, and so forth?
We thought about that, but that would have to be probably a different solution, and maybe like a bombing of the clothes or some sort of situation that you would empty the machine.
Well, hey, that black, the black lot.
And yeah, as you pointed out earlier, the black ones are definitely
I think that's something to do with the black light.
Maybe this is a silly question, but what's inside the box there that we can't see?
Inside here?
Yeah.
Oh, this one. This is what's behind your curtain? It's got the hanging wire outside.
Yeah.
Hanging wire.
And we positioned our hoses in the middle, so it would reach even the smaller clothes.
Good luck. Thank you.
In the previous version there.
Anyway.
Can you put your kids in there?
Okay, I'm actually one of our first commercial being older.
In a previous version of this pitch, I've seen you with an image that had shoes on the bottom rack. Do you still see that as an opportunity for you, sort of refreshing footwear?
We do, but you have to be careful of the shoes you're putting in, especially with dress shoes and the types. So that's definitely something we want to have for the future, but we definitely need to shoes on that. That's cool.
I'm curious, I can see grab my shirt right now and figure something out.
Yeah, we'll look it up. After everyone presents.
Yeah.
After everyone presents. We have no problem.
Away from the electronics.
So how can we help you make this a going concern for this business?
Well, other than how you've helped us already with all of the suggestions, I definitely would like to speak to you after the presentation. We're looking for, like I said, mentorship, any direction we're looking to take, what we think we need to make this product successful. We're looking to speak with someone in manufacturing or knows about manufacturing when we do it, we're going to help us with the final product.
Thank you all again for coming this morning. I'm up here to tell you about some fun events that are happening over the next couple of weeks. We have, actually it's my event next Thursday, so I hope to see you all there. It's a local tap takeover of the patio in South Tampa, and it's an event for entrepreneurs and technical resources in the area, just a pure networking event, no set agenda, anything like that. It's a free event as well. So if you have any questions, I'm happy to answer those for you. You also have Startup Grind, which is at Blind Tiger in Ybor, and it's a long story of a successful entrepreneur, the trials, tribulations they had, and also some of the success stories as well that come out. You have Tech Talk, you have Startup Weekend, which is a 54-hour event to put together some type of startup or actual product and company. So some of you have seen Startup Weekend come here, and this one specifically is for you. So if you have any kids that are on that entrepreneurial mindset, it's a great event for them. We have the Entrepreneurship Gala at USF, as well as the Etsy Craft Entrepreneurship event that will be here at the greenhouse. So if you are on our mailing list, you'll get links to all of these events. If you want to know more about them, come see me, Sean, whoever you want to see. And if you want to get on the mailing list, it's over there in the corner, and we'll keep you in the loop of everything going on. So please give a warm round of applause to our next presenters. My name is Amanda DeChico.
I'm Patrick Hanna. And I'm Andrew Ross.
And we are Fanpanion. I want you to think back to your first adult gaming event. I imagine you waking up in the morning, putting on your favorite team's jersey, and heading out the door with some friends to create memories that will last a lifetime. As you arrive to your venue, you realize that you have underplanned. Where should we eat? Where are the fans? But more importantly, how could you have connected with them prior to? With no existing channel, you're going to wish you had Fanpanion in the past, and you're going to regret not having it in the future. So what is Fanpanion, you ask me, Patrick? Well, it's in your court.
Fanpanion is a mobile application that will allow you to easily connect with other like-minded fans in your area. We will use an easy-to-use app that depicts live events in real time on a map so that you can easily see where other people are getting together to watch your game, to tailgate, and take the stress out of pre-planning. Just imagine the people you can meet if you could see all the people in your area who are fans of your teams, the people you can meet, and the friends you can make. Because, let's face it, we're all fans on the inside. All right, so after gathering over 60 detailed interviews from local bars and restaurants, sporting events and universities, we have discovered a problem and a need, and we're now developing a channel to solve this issue. So initially, our target market will be males ages 18 to 35, following at least one sports team with a general understanding for social media and mobile applications. This generates about 200,000 users in the Tampa Bay region, but we can reach well over 13 million users nationwide. Now currently there are fans watching sporting events without a channel or using a channel like meetup.com to meet other people, but we believe this is inadequate. Currently on the Apple Store, the meetup.com app has 2 out of 5 stars, and they only allow you to create or join groups ahead of time. And with us, you can create instantaneous fan parties that allow you to immediately connect with fans in your area. Acquiring these users, whether they're using a current channel or not using any channel, is easy because it gives you the opportunity to meet other fans. It's free, it's beneficial to use, and it's very easy to use. So why wouldn't you? So I myself, I'm an Orlando City MLS fan, but I find no group on meetup.com in this area. And since we all love St. Petersburg, live, work, play here, what's extraordinary is only 11 out of the top 50 most popular professional sports teams in America have a group on meetup.com within 50 miles of downtown St. Petersburg. Now, while the rest of the country has similar or worse statistics, and while this may seem alarming, we find this as a great opportunity to fill a gap that was left behind by our competitors. So I'm going to let Amanda and Patrick explain the value we provide with Fanpanion.
So we are offering a free channel to connect fans that under other circumstances may have never met one another to create a really, truly unbreakable bond. So our mobile experience will not just focus on that group of fans, but the events that bring them together, including tailgates, watch parties, and team meetups.
We're working on collaborating with sponsors to make our app a one-stop shop by providing services such as taxi link-up, discounts on game apparel, and an outlet to purchase tickets for future events. We will generate revenue through sponsored links and through advertisements on our webpage. We believe that with a dedicated channel for fans to reach out to one another and to get to know others, going to a game by yourself because you simply don't know any other fans is a thing of the past.
So we have a little prototype going for our Fanpanion app. And of course, we would have a loading screen in the beginning, a login screen. Once you've already logged in for the first time, it'll be very easy just to access it like most other apps. Logging in with Facebook allows you to draw a lot of information that's on Facebook onto your app itself. And then very quickly, I'll go through some of the features we have. And a lot of the features here are not unlike a lot of the features you use in apps and websites now. We took a lot of different templates and just combined them into one customized Fanpanion app. So we have a notifications app, or feature. We have a messaging feature, and again, not unlike Facebook Messenger or anything like that. Calendar feature to let you know what's going on in the area. We have a settings and profile feature, which the most interesting part is the teams. As I said, you can put in your favorite teams, and you will be targeted, you will be notified about things going on in the area, people joining based on who you're interested in. And our most important feature is the fan finder. Now, this isn't the final product, but we would have a list of criteria. You would search for either a watch party, a tailgate, and from there you would be taken to a screen not unlike Yelp or Craigslist with a map and a list view of things in your area, local bars and restaurants, and they would just like Yelp give you information about the page. This would be an area for local businesses to advertise as well. So all you have to do is let us know who your favorite teams are and where you are, and let Fanpanion connect you with fans in your area. Because as long as you have Fanpanion, you'll never fan alone.
Have you thought about the idea of perhaps connecting up, like you go to McDonald's or something like this, they're offering French fries, shake or hamburger. In this case, how about working with vendors that will offer tickets for games if it's close by, something like that?
Well, as far as that goes, the way we see it now is you can go in and you can see where the watch parties are, and you can sponsor a watch party if you're a bar or a restaurant. And what we'll have is a separate page so that we're not bombarding you with ads, but a separate page you can voluntarily go to purchase future events, to purchase a taxi ride home if you drink too much, to tailgate, to do things like that.
Are you going to have a feature on there? I saw that you have obviously have photos for signing in with Facebook and so forth. Photos over there. Are you going to allow fans to put up photos? I'm at this great party, throwing a photo that people can create excitement through visuals and little videos or something like that?
Well, initially we were just doing a tailgating app, and we've expanded to this. And part of that, which we're going to bring into this, is like a profile, a user profile. There'll be for businesses and reviews for users as well. So you know you're not meeting somebody who's, you know, drinking way too much all the time or anything like that. And they'll be allowed on their profiles to post pictures and things like that, maybe tag the location where they've been or are going.
First of all, I think this is a brilliant idea with huge potential. I'm a Patriots fan and a Red Sox fan, and I'm always boo. Meet up with other like-minded fans and find where people are, and it's hard to do. This solves a real problem. What's your revenue model? How do you propose to make money?
Okay, so we're going to start off short run. We've got to get some users before anything's going to become that. So we're going to start off by going to particularly college campuses, because we think a lot of people come from out of state, out of the city to come to college. When they get here, they don't really know anyone. So this would be a perfect place to start with college campus, and we have USF right across the way. So that's our short run. And after we get some traction, we're going to start local businesses and target, hey, you can host a sponsored tailgate. So it'll be the first one you see. And instead of just targeting Patriots fans or Bills fans or anything else, you can target anyone you want. And for $5, $10, $20, depending on how broad you want your search range to be and how long you want it to last, you can sponsor a tailgate. So that's going to be our medium run revenue model. Once we get some significant traction, we plan on adding that. I'm not sure if any of you guys have ever used Snapchat, but it would be similar to that Discover page, where you can see sponsor. You can pay to be on that as a sponsor, and that will be something you target towards national, like NFLshop.com, ESPN, Uber, things like that can pay to be on that, and we would collect either a per click or a fee based on revenue that they generate with that.
There's definitely a market for this because NBC Sports just came out with almost the exact same application, but it's only for English Premier League fans. And I haven't seen it for NFL and all that sort of. So it's called NBC Matchmaking because they have their new sports network. And so I can see where, for instance, our Liverpool fans can be watching the game now that's in Petersburg, but I haven't seen it for other sports. So there's definitely a market for it out there.
Great idea, guys. Serves a real need, as we mentioned. You know, we are a fan within, and I love cricket. And I can't say it in a big form because nobody understands what cricket is. It's so difficult to, you know, connect with people. It's so difficult to follow, watch parties and stuff like that. It serves a real need. But in my opinion, there are 100 ways to skin the cat when you actually have traction. So in my opinion, you should have the traction before you start monetizing it. So that's your focus for the next 6, 8 a year until you get 1 million guys. I think there are a lot of opportunities down the road to actually monetize it. But the focus shouldn't be there. It should be in getting traction, go to colleges, get the word out.
And that was our plan, was to gain local traction, show a significant user base, and then start with the local bars, because we would need 500,000, 1 million users to be able to target ESPN, but we wouldn't need nearly that many to target Ferg's or a local bar, Five Guys, something like that, and that would be.
Yeah, so who on your team is developing it?
That actually goes into our next thing. We don't have a developer yet.
So, yeah, we plan on working with developers. We've kind of rebuilt a rough draft presentation. We are still working on a final product for like a roadmap. But as far as developing it, programming, coding, we don't have that yet.
Okay.
First of all, great idea, especially in the Tampa Bay area with all these damn New England and Yankee fans. But other than that, do you have, are you the one that owns the domain? Because it's taken, so I hope it's you. If not, get on that. And have you trademarked Never Fan Alone? That's a good logo. Trademark it.
Nothing in here is...
Start the process just so you're on record.
I just want to caution you about the names of teams and using their they're very protective about that. You know, the Patriots watch party, things like that. They own all that and they fight that pristine. And any basically the philosophy of Major League is that if there's any revenue to be gotten by my brand, I will get it from also makes you a good target for acquisition if you do it right. You know, so but it's a very difficult thing, and you should really concentrate on a great person before you spend money to develop them without any cash.
You have options for all sports or just selected?
Our plan was to go with as many sports as we saw need for. We could start off with the major ones, and then if you say, hey, I'm Minor League Baseball fan, or I'm a cricket fan, and then we could start going.
Yeah, and the good thing about that is you're able to create your own tailgates or watch parties. So say you like lacrosse and no one else does, you can create that need, people can see it and start to kind of tag along with you.
First up, I just kind of thought something out of the blue, like, you could do like big events on pay-per-view or something like that, because one of the big things with pay-per-view is like somebody will do like $70 to watch Floyd and Manny fight in a week or so. Part of it would be like, hey, we can for the pay-per-view or something to somebody, you know, everybody could throw in $5 and get together and have our own little watch party. That was just an idea. I was just curious, this is such an awesome idea. Have you noticed or identified any competitors in this at all, or if so, what's your expected efforts?
So we haven't really found any direct competitors. There is an application. I actually didn't know about the Premier League from NBC Sports, but there is a tailgate app, which we have a tailgate feature, but it's really cheesy looking. It doesn't look like it works well at all. Other than that, it's primarily just substitutes. We consider Meetup.com not really a competitor, just a really big substitute. And like I said, they're not hitting the market like we plan on hitting the market. But other than that, no real competitors, because we're providing the most direct channel for sports fans to connect.
Two thoughts. One, you probably do a lot of data mining, like you could have a data scientist type person on your team to say, okay, let's look at Twitter and find out where a tweet's being made from people in the St. Petersburg area that are favorable towards the team that's not here. And you might actually be able to have a model to figure out all at once which areas have pockets of different fans. But the other idea I had is, you know, I'm wired on Wednesday nights to think about bar trivia. And the reason bars do trivia is to bring in more people on slow nights and all that. What about just, you know, an app or something along the lines of Watch Party where, you know, you're in St. Pete, Tampa, you want to pull up a list of all the teams from all the sports and find out which bars or which places are where everybody should, you know, goes and gathers for that particular out-of-town team. And then maybe there's a revenue model around, you know, revenue from those bars here brings people to, and then, you know, maybe advertising to them, you know, people and everything too. Just two thoughts.
What we're working on right now is the local bars and restaurants, they can advertise to promote their specials. So if they have an NFL Sunday ticket, they can advertise that with us. But unlike Meetup.com, you don't have to have somebody pay to create a group and then try and draw people in. It's basically 1, 2, 3 people broadcasting out that they'd like to meet other people, and then from there they can decide where they'd like to go.
Yeah, and just maybe a couple different approaches at once. Like if you're able to tweet out, you know, Eagles watch party at this bar in St. Pete without anybody paying anything, that to the point of getting attraction. But you could just try to establish where some of the watch parties are, but then tie that back into your app. You might, through these initial watch parties from these teams where you know there's a lot of out-of-towners here, do that, and then you could be walking around at the bar that evening with, you know, wearing your shirt, having your app, and getting everybody that shows up to that to install it. That way they can then continue those connections and build that traction. You know, I think a lot of the app stuff, they also have to do the organic grassroots, like going out and meeting with and talking with all those people in addition to all the tech and the app side. So just,
yeah, it's a good idea because we want the people to use it. They're, you know, they need to be a little bit social media friendly. So that's, yeah, it's a good idea.
So to this point, there's a lot of different directions you can go. Money isn't even necessarily an object because you could spend a ton of money, and if you're going in the wrong direction, it's not going to help you. It's really a question of time. And the person with this idea, which I would agree as everyone that this is a good idea, surely there will be others that have it, or will see something being developed by you guys and then go a different direction. The person that finds the right path first will get bought out for a ton of money. What is is your plan for next steps, and what is your rough timeline for these next steps?
So I think we'd like by the end of the year to at least gain some awareness in the St. Petersburg, Tampa Bay region. Obviously, it's going to take some time to build the app. You know, we're working with app developers. It's just going to take time. But we'd like, as you said, we'd like to start in this region. And as far as the timeline, and I'm hoping we can get out of Tampa Bay region by the end of next year. I'm hoping that everything can be built. We're working on a roadmap of the entire application, a rough draft, and we're going to start getting feedback from that from people to see what works. So we're working on that. We don't have too many deadlines for the long term. We're just kind of working on the short term right now.
The one thing that I would, the biggest risk area I see in your approach then is probably the development and what you're going to do with the features are going to be. So I would seek some advice on some sort of like process or methodologies that's used by companies in order to evaluate which features to develop and how. Maybe it's focus group, maybe it's like piloting or something like that. But I would do a good amount of like research up front before actually spending money on building.
I would echo that, and also to do it in chunks. In other words, it's better to get something ready in 3 months, test that, then take another 3 months, and then have something 6 months where you can actually start to use a larger group, because then you can then take it the direction you're going. But if you wait till like the rainy year, I know you have the information to build it, and it'll be maybe a little late.
Right.
My son's an engineer for Intel, and he is connected with several individual developers that can help with his app. So after he's connected, give him my card, and I get connected further in our place. Developers, and they've developed some really awesome apps.
Do you have any estimates on how much it might cost to develop the app, and do you have a budget and thoughts of raising capital?
We don't really have a budget. We're thinking for maybe a bare bones app upwards of $20,000, and then for something to look very pretty, I guess. So we're, like I said before, we're taking a lot of templates from other sites or websites that work and using them here. So to make it look pretty, probably $40,000 to $50,000 to
Could you sell subscriptions to some of the larger sports clubs from the standpoint of their fan clubs, to give them an avenue to show what's going on for that fan base? And that might be some ways to get some money to help grow, put your first effort into doing something like that. And what it offers a map of what they have in the area that's going on for those fan clubs. I mean, that might start you off simple, and then go to the other pieces that you or alumni associations.
It seems to me that obviously the fans are big beneficiaries of this, but the bigger beneficiaries are actually the teams. Because what you're doing is you're helping to coalesce and create even more loyalty. And if I'm hearing this right, it sounds like you want to go out and figure out who all the players are that are going to be involved in using the app, et cetera, et cetera. It seems to me you'd be better off spending some time getting your app down, presentable, and hitting some of the teams as supporters directly. And then once they are involved and if they sponsor it, then the other people will come in naturally. They'll seek you out instead of going the other way.
So given that you guys are students, is this something that you're going to partner together, make a real business, put together a plan, try to make it successful? Or once you get your degree, are you going to go off to med school or something like that? Or where does it stand as far as a real type business that you guys are going to partner and try to make it work?
Well, this started out where, as somebody said earlier, we're in Troy, there's a new venture creation class. So we were just given the task to create an idea and just kind of running with it based on what we've done. What turned out as a class project is now something we think is feasible, that can actually work. So we believe this is something that can be on everybody's phone in the near future.
So beyond school co-students, then you want to put this together as a company that actually moves forward together.
Absolutely, this is a problem we've all had, so since we can solve the problem, that would be something we would definitely like to do moving forward.
There's a lot of people in here already stated that they like this idea, they would use it. That's the kind of feedback we got in public when we went to Tropicana and we're interviewing tailgaters, bars and restaurants. So people want it. It just hasn't been created yet.
Just to follow up the comment over there, I feel like the Rowdies are the best kind of gateway team. They have the flexibility that maybe the Rays or whatever don't because of their, Major League Baseball rules and things like that. And they're obviously led by Bill Edwards, very entrepreneurial guy who is spending a ton of money to get engagement in the community for the Rowdies. So if there's somebody here who has a good connection to that might be.
I would love to get the Rowdies involved. Unfortunately, he did just take over Midtown Sundries, named it the Rowdies, and that's their official spot. So trying to get people in another spot, I think would be incredibly difficult. They now have a home base right across from the stadium. So, and the fan base doesn't really branch too much out of this Tampa Bay.
Sure. Perhaps there's some other area for engagement.
Yeah. We thought about it, we just thought it'd be more difficult than others.
Because this is actually doubling as their final exam, the two teams that presented for you today got to opt out of their final exam, which is tonight for the other students. This is better than a test anyways, right? So I got some kind of spot. Do you imagine this as being more, is your archetype what you do, or is this an individual who, I live here and I'm looking for alternative sites to go hang out before a game, or is this for the out-of-town fan? I don't want to live where I'm from, but I still want to connect with my hometown team. So is it for the away teams, or is it more for the home teams, or is this just one of those things that you're going to have to feel out?
We'd like to say for everyone, but we are going to have to feel it out. As I said, people are coming to Tampa from all over the world to go to school here. They're bringing their teams with them, or we're going to USF and we're branching out afterwards. We're bringing our teams with us. Or there are fans in town watching a Braves game that are Orioles fans, or something like that. Yeah, we're going to have to feel it out. But
one of the things I saw in doing my interviews was the people who were all over this were the people who were currently living in Tampa Bay, who were Rays fans, who were Bucks fans, but who planned on moving out after college, who planned on moving to another state. And those were the people who were going to be like, when I get to Indianapolis, when I get to Boston, when I get to Chicago, I'm not going to get to know any Rays fans. I'm not going to know where they meet up. So we feel that would be the targeted users that would use this the most. But that's just based on preliminary research. It could be totally different once we get out there and get the after.
It's really big for travel. I do that, I travel a lot, and I always want to watch the game with people, not in my hotel or on my, always want to. I never know where to go, I would use that.
And then it's the same thing, I would say, but you could have a map of what's going on in the area when you're traveling, and you look for something, you don't want to go by yourself, but you don't know what's going on. So by having a map and knowing that it's there, you can look at a map and decide, hey, maybe I want to drop into that.
It seems like people coming to an area that aren't familiar with the area and find something like this tremendously valuable. And if you're a sports fan, and you're from the area, you've got a local bar that you go to, the club shares, everybody knows your name. But we had 20 guys from the club I remember go to Chicago last year for a baseball game, and surprise, surprise, they found a bunch of people that they knew from Tampa that had gone to the same game, but they had no idea beforehand that they were going. So this would be a great way.
They just met by coincidence.
Yeah, walking through.
I'll stay there.
I was going to say the same thing. We do travel a lot to go see the Rays or to go to different places. And we use Twitter because we're always on Twitter and we can meet up with people, but they're never fans of the same team. So it would be very interesting. In fact, to me, that almost seems like a completely different app to focus on the away fan. I mean, maybe there could be a component. That almost seems like a whole different idea. You could really focus differently. Because I mean, finding another, I'd be actually even more interested in finding another Rays fan from Tampa Bay when I'm up in Chicago than I would be to find somebody who already lives there, because that fan I can go and
Yeah, the fan finder uses your location for like all apps. You can choose to turn that off and on. And so when you type in specific criteria like Indianapolis Colts, it'll show you fans in your area that are broadcasting out that like to watch the game that just want to connect. So that'll show you everybody in your area within a specific.
Is that by GPS or is that by signal? So if you're traveling,
It'll be
you
by.
end up in that place, but you're going there, not there now.
It'll be by zip code, but or GPS, but you can also choose. Like, I'm in Tampa, but I want to put in 33701 for right here.
I think you guys have a great deal of upside potential, particularly if you include some of the college, like college football, college basketball, and you're going to find fans wanting to do that all the way, especially if you're doing college basketball in March. So this is the thought.
Yeah, I want to know who's going to buy the pizza this week and what flavor.
So how can we, as a community, help you guys make this happen?
Well, I think we each have something to say about that. I think we need awareness. I think since it's free to use, customers, it might be a little easier to get them on users. Like local bars and restaurants without traction, it's hard for them to hear us out and listen to us. So connecting with local businesses would be crucial for us.
So while the business side of it is important, it's also important to get awareness in the Bay Area and spreading out from that. So if you use the app and you like it, share it on Facebook, post it on Twitter, just make it visible to people that you know who may not have heard of that already. So getting as many people as possible on the app. Once we've got it going, big. Thank you guys.
And to help with our next step, to find someone who will join our team to help us program and move forward with it.
My name's Richard, and why don't we do a couple of things? One is, let's do another round of applause for all the students today. I put my specs on. You know, I've told many of you, but there's some new folks in today. I love and work and live here, but I also love and work in Kansas City, Missouri, where my wife and children are, by the way. And so I go back and forth. And the point there is that the 1 Million Cups here was started 18 months ago, which you should all be incredibly proud about and excited about. We want more and more and more presentations and more attendance at 1 Million Cups. So fast forward. Last week, when I was at Kaufman, which is the mothership, the founding deal of this, they had their third year celebration. So it's a 3-year-old model, and we are 18 months in that launch of the model. Okay, so that's kind of interesting. They're doing a lot of research. They're doing a lot of education and things about this. But I thought it was interesting. They did a little summary here that I'll just jump to some of the interesting ones to me. Right now, they've launched in 72 cities. So if you put this in perspective, at 9 o'clock, depending on the time zone, this is happening all across the United States. And it happens from San Juan, so they're in Puerto Rico, they're also in Anchorage, Alaska. So there's your range. The interesting one to me, quite honestly, I don't know, good, bad, or indifferent, but Florida is the #1 state with 6 different locations. Then Missouri, which is where the mothership is, and then Colorado, Iowa, North Carolina, and Texas, that kind of thing. So that's kind of surprising that there's this type of entrepreneurial energy. And just kind of put it in perspective that this year they expect 5,000 plus presentations like this, coast to coast, which is kind of an interesting thought. And also approximately 3,000 attendants and 300 organizers like our gang here, which are all volunteers, by the way. But we appreciate what you're doing, and the reason I'm sharing this is it's really fun to get perspective of how does this fit into the dynamic, because there's also opportunities. If you present here, you could apply to present in Denver. You could apply to present in Anchorage, that kind of thing. So have a wonderful day and week, and we'll see you again next week. Thank you.